So I was looking for a new soldering iron, and I have been using an old one that I probably bought 20 years ago at this point, a little soldering pencil. And I've been looking at all the new ones that have digital readouts, in specific something I wanted, quick heat up time, something else I was looking for, powerful, small, quick cool down, and I was looking at a bunch of those. As I was looking at those, Amazon hit me with the new Maxwel Manufacturing. That they were promoting, and it was about $5 more than one of the other units that I was looking at purchasing. It had 0 reviews. It had 0 video. I couldn't find anything on YouTube for this, and I decided for extra $5, the write-up looked good. It looked like it included a good amount of items, and I figured I'll give it a try, and if it's that bad, it's Amazon, I can always send it back, but hopefully it was going to be something that was decent, and I could do a quick review for other people and start giving other people an idea of what it is. So it came in a bubble wrap envelope. This is exactly how it came, nicely squished, and didn't give me the highest hopes, but I figured we'll go ahead and still rip her open and see what we get and go from there. So it's supposed to come, nothing else in there, it's supposed to come with a cleaner, which this is the tip cleaner. It's a little bit of brasso basically inside of a dish. Comes with a holder, snaps together, I guess that quick, that easy. Some instructions, and they are all in English. That's actually shocking. This unit itself is, I could not imagine, not made in Japan or China. Shockingly, I don't see a made anywhere on it. But it feels fairly nice. It's a heavier duty cord. The case is a decent plastic. It has a nice little neoprene finger guard on it. Has a digital display, which I was looking for, an on-off slider, increase and decrease temperature, and a little tip protector with a nice new style soldering tip. So I figured we'll go ahead and set her up, solder a couple little pieces with it, and go from there. Normally I would obviously be working on my workbench down in the basement, but filming this in the basement is not exactly something that's easy to do, so we're going to go ahead and do the living room filming, which is not typical, but something that, well, I'll tell you what, if you're looking for your first complaint out of me, I would say my first complaint is probably, yep, the stand seems as though it's almost worthless. Under just the weight of the cord, it will not stand on its own. So if you're considering this a soldering stand, it is not much of one of those. But the bottom is adhesive. You pull a little piece of plastic off, that's self-stick. That is apparently what they expect you to do to get it to go somewhere, instead of course, including something that's got a little bit of weight to it and going from there. It is a 3-tine plug, with an actual ground. So running off of a small extension cord is probably not going to be very easy. It's in the off position. So we'll go ahead and turn it on and see how fast it heats up. So here we go. First turning it on. Says 300. Oh, no. It's actually... Wow. It says it's at 300 degrees already. And I would say it is. That's ridiculously impressive. I'll time that later and tell you how long that took. But that was super fast. Just to see whether or not... Oh, it's definitely heated up. Well, one thing's for sure, my 20-year-old pencil took like 15 minutes to heat up. That took like 15 seconds or less. That was pretty amazing. So let's see. Plus. This is degrees Celsius. And it says that it goes up to 480 degrees Celsius and down to 90. You can see it climbing. That is shocking. .480 degrees, and it couldn't even have possibly been a minute.
No. About 15, 20 seconds.
That's amazing. So I don't know that it's going to dissipate the heat that fast, but I'm going to go back down to 300 and test a wire. So I guess it's blinking to let you know that it's over. Oh, there we go.
Wow.
We can actually see how quick it's dissipating the heat. Really fast. Well, I would imagine that a dab of solder will help it dissipate even faster. I've got some wire here that I'm going to go ahead and solder. Okay. So this is nothing fancy. Just some standard small gauge wire, which I purchased this to solder. It'd be nice to test this out with some thicker gauge wire, but for right now this will do. Okay, so we're set to 300. I'll tell you, the wire is heavy enough that it is slightly cumbersome while touching this and trying to move around in comparison to my old pencil that had ridiculously light duty wire. Well, I see that I saw it lower for a second, go back up. Oh, it's definitely... $400 it is. I'll tell you what else. That. Is the lighting enough? There it goes. Melted in very good. It's a nice, good, tight solder. Overall, I would say I'm impressed with the tip. I'm impressed with the build construction. I was very impressed with how heavy duty the wire was. I thought that was awesome. I am very unimpressed by their work stand. It's going to glue in place and never move to somewhere else. You can't take it out with you. This kind of seems like a joke, but okay. I guess it does the job. I'm not impressed with how this feels when you're trying to solder, and the wire is the heaviest thing out of the entire contraption. So that's not impressive and not super comfortable. Still sitting at 200 degrees, but it is high quality feeling. This is light years ahead of my old soldering pencil, and I would absolutely recommend it. I don't even know that I see the manufacturer's name. There's a little decal on here that says Maxwel. It is a 65 watt. Almost all the other ones I was looking at were a 60 watt. This is 65 watt, designed for 110 volts. When you read all the wording on this, it has that feel like it is written by a foreigner and then translated by Google Translate, possibly. At least it just feels that way to me as I read across it. But either which way, I'll go ahead into Amazon and I will leave a written review, and I will clean up this video and post this so that there is a YouTube review, and we'll see whether or not anybody else agrees or disagrees with me on this. Still too hot to touch, so I can't break that part down right now.